Hi, welcome to Chair Chats, the lifestyle talk show with a disability twist. I'm your host, Pauline Victoria. Have you ever gone to a restaurant or hotel that said they were accessible, but when you arrived, you realized they really weren't? Have you ever been out with your friends having fun only to be caught off guard because the place you want to go to doesn't have an accessible entrance or bathroom? Would you like the inside scoop into accessibility of the places you want to go to before you go? Brandon Winfield wanted to experience all of life, just like many of us, but he was tired of being surprised by the lack of access issues. And so he decided to do something about it. In this episode, we're going to get a sneak peek into his solution. But before we jump into that, I want to remind you to please subscribe and share. Also, I'd like to invite you personally to my private Facebook groups, either Victoriously Living or Crip Chat Club via Zoom. Every Saturday, we meet for real disability community talk. Also, if you like what you see, I'd like to invite you to support us financially at patreon.com/One Leg Up Productions. Brandon, thanks for being on Chair Chats. So excited to have you here and to see what you have created out of necessity. Like I say, well, I don't say it. There's an English proverb that says, necessity is the mother of invention. And that is where you have come up with this beautiful solution to the lack of access and accessibility reviews. And I would love to get our audience to understand who you are and the motivation behind your solution. And if I'm going to let you reveal your solution.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me on and let me speak about what we're trying to do and spread the word, because what we're doing definitely takes strength in numbers. We need people to sign up and be a part of this adventure and help us get going, essentially. So my name's Brandon Winfield. I'm 27 years old. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I was injured in a motocross accident when I was 14 years old. Motocross was my whole life. It was everything I ever wanted to do. It was my identity as a person, and it was pretty much all I focused on. I didn't have the dream college I wanted to go to when I got out of high school. I wasn't going to high school parties with friends. I was really focused on something and making it happen. It wasn't just a hobby that I was doing on the weekend. So when I got hurt racing, I knew the risk of what I was doing. I'd been hurt plenty of times before, but this was just a whole other level of, wow, like this is actually happening. I can't feel my legs. I can't move. What do I do now? And I know some people are born with disabilities and they're kind of accustomed to that, but a lot of people and a lot of people I met going through rehab were going through the same thing I was, where you just didn't know. I think there's a common misconception on the outside looking in of people that have disabilities or physical challenges, and they just see us as people that like to stay inside. We don't want to hang out with our community. We don't want to go party. We don't want to go to festivals. We don't want to scuba dive or whatever it may be. And that's kind of where I was at when I first got started. But I've always been an adventurous person. I've always been somebody that loves adrenaline rush and being competitive. And the first thing that we thought about is, how do we start doing that again? And we started riding jet skis as soon as I got out of the hospital. We were racing go-karts as a competitive thing and getting that adrenaline rush going. And it was just about living life and going to go see new places and trying to hang out with my same friends. I was growing up and becoming an 18-year-old adult. I guess you can call it an adult at 18. I don't really know. And I was starting to go places and go on dates. And I realized that there was this inconsistency with accessibility from place to place. A lot of places we would go, I would either have trouble getting in the entrance or even worse, getting into the bathroom. And that would make for some short days and short nights, unfortunately, some embarrassing moments sometimes. And I just got tired of that. And I felt like there was something that needed to be done. There had to be some sort of Yelp of accessibility out there to allow us to know before we go. And I couldn't really find anything. And the stuff that I did find wasn't appeasing to me. I didn't want to use it. It wasn't fun. It just felt like it was another medical thing of just like, here you go. Here's something for you to try to, live a life, I guess. So I decided to create something on my own, and that's what you had me on here for. We ended up creating a company called iAccess Life. We're a mobile application that just launched in April of 2019, and we are on the iOS and the Google Play Store. We so far have close to 4,000 unique locations rated in over 45 states and 30 countries. So we're growing day by day. It's a crowdsourcing application, so that's why I say we need everybody's help to sign up and start leaving ratings. Hopefully, if you do sign up and you're in somewhat of a populous area, you can also find locations that have been rated for you so that you can know where to go as well. But yeah, we're in the early stages and we're getting people to get on board. We're raising money right now. We're expanding our product offering essentially with what's going on in the application and making it more fun, honestly, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And we're doing more brand ambassador contests, so we have opportunities to give away money for ratings.
That's amazing. Okay, first of all, I love the app's name, iAccess Life. Like, how much more clear can we get? I love that. And I'm one of those people that I feel like I always say like God had a real sense of humor because I have an adventurous spirit, but then sometimes my body or society, because of lack of access, says, no, you can't come in.
Exactly.
And I can imagine that would make like for awkward dates, right? If you were going out and trying to impress a girl, but then the restaurant
Trying to impress the girls, somebody has to pick you upstairs or piggyback you someplace, or even
yeah,
worse, you get inside and you have a couple of drinks and there's that feeling of not being able to control your bladder, like you have to go, but you can't hold it. And so you have about like a 45-second window possibly to get to the bathroom, and then you get there and it's too tight. You can't get in. You're just like, uh-oh, what do I do now? Like this is about to be really embarrassing. And I just didn't want that to happen. I wanted to feel like I don't want to say a normal human, but I just want to feel like I had those normal human I guess hurdles not to get over essentially. Like I just wanted to be able like to access places as if it was every other day, as if it was before my injury.
yeah. Just because you have an injury or a disability doesn't change your spirit. And I love
Exactly.
how you just continue to going out there and you saw an issue and you created a solution to do it. And I'm gonna let you guys know if you're watching this. I downloaded the app when I got to talk with Brandon prior to this interview, and it is fun. It feels more modern. And I have seen and have interviewed people who tried to do what you're doing, Brandon, but for whatever reason, maybe it was just technology at the time, but it did feel more medical, like that it's blue and
Yeah.
the
It
color of
just
disability, I guess. I don't know. But
it
yeah,
has, it has personality, and that's what we really focused on when we designed this app, was making sure that we had personality and that it was aesthetically pleasing. You wanted to come back and see it again. My dad and I have other friends that use it as well that don't have disabilities, and what they use it for is just to find a new place to go if they're in a new city that they've never been to before. You can go into the app and search in the categories and find something around you. They say it's better than using the Google Maps or the Apple Maps, which is really cool. Like I like hearing that as well. So it's kind of multi-purpose, and then we'll be having some features that we add in down the road that allow you to book accessible accommodations and tickets and parking, which would be sooner rather than later. We have that in the works right now. So yeah, we're trying to make it a whole lifestyle application where you can come in and just kind of do everything that you need to do and book what you need to and go where you need to.
that's awesome. So it is a crowdsourcing app. So we rely on everybody to start populating the app. And I want to encourage you as you're watching this, like put us on pause. Go to your phones, download it right now, and start using it as you would Yelp per se. So, but at least this would have some real uh, effect on our lives, right? That it'll take away the awkwardness of that date, or it'll take away the feeling like, oh, I'm letting my friends down because we can't go there, and I
Exactly.
don't want to hold them back, so they go inside the club and you don't.
Yep.
So those are real life things that happen to a lot of us with disabilities. And what I'm hoping, I don't know, we didn't talk about this, but in preparing for this interview, I was thinking to myself, what if this actually put peer pressure on those places that are not accessible but are getting bad reviews to do something different? What do you think?
Exactly. And that was one of initial thought processes behind it. I've never been one to cause a scene or say, hey, this isn't accessible, what's going on here, blah, blah, blah. You're such and such, so on and so forth. Fix this. I'm going to call somebody. Where's your manager? I hate doing that. I'll usually just like, well, this isn't for me. Let's go find someplace else. And that seemed to be happening too often. And I wanted something for us to have a platform where we can reward those who are doing well and mainly shine a light on them. And then the people that aren't doing well, not try to degrade them or make them feel bad about them not being accessible, but kind of let them know what they can do to be better. And so I definitely highly encourage people when they're leaving ratings to leave a review of why they left a certain rating, and, you know, be nice and considerate with it and be objective essentially with what you're saying in your review. Because ultimately down the road, we want to take this to people and show them that the demographic they're missing out on, they're usually not just missing out on us as a disabled person, they're missing out on us and our friends and our family that we travel with as well. We don't tend to travel alone. And so if we can get some of these bigger companies out there and these bigger organizations to get like a stamp of approval that they're accessible and that they've gone through some sort of training.
Yeah, and I've done my research because, you know, for sponsorship and such, and globally with our friends and family, not just people with disabilities, but all the people that we touch and care about us, there's like $1 trillion discretionary income that people are missing out on, businesses are missing out on. I can relate. And I actually put out a little vlog video last year because my family and I took a road trip 1 month from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine. And so I got to experience different accessibility standards throughout the country. And the more east I went, I found northeast, I found it to be less disability friendly. And we went to I won't name the town. We went to a tourist town in the Northeast, and I could hardly get into any of the buildings. And the ones I did, I dropped coin, and that's what happens. And not only my husband dropped money, my niece who was with us spent money there, but they didn't go into the stores I couldn't go into because and spend money there. So that it is a real thing that I think businesses need to be aware of, that there's real consumer value there. And I would like to, like you, I'm not someone who likes negative confrontation. So in correcting people with those reviews, it's easier received when the reviews are nicer, you know, like objective, like you mentioned, not shaming them.
Yeah, we want to work with them, not against them. And the cool thing that I've started to notice lately, especially working in this space and starting to reach out to potential partnerships and organizations, is that they are becoming more aware of this and they are becoming more proactive instead of reactive to this. And so I want to make sure everybody knows that there's some light, there's awareness. I'm sure you guys are aware of it already, but yeah, it's coming and it's going to be here shortly. And I think just the next step is making sure that every building, because we do have the ADA in place and a lot of these places should be accessible, but there's still some places that fall short, unfortunately, because they're grandfathered in. So hopefully what we can do, and when we start creating this, I want to say mainstream buzz, essentially, not where it's the, you know, mainstream up here and then there's people with disabilities down here. And it's like, oh yeah, we see your little inspirational stories and we love that because it inspires us. Like I want us to be just one group and you go, hey, that person's awesome because they're doing awesome things. Hopefully we can, like I said, create more of a fun lifestyle feel to what we're trying to do. We want to make accessibility sexy and not like you're like we're tossing you a bone, you know, like, all right, here's something you can do. It's just like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a great time and this is where we're gonna go do it. Everybody else catch up.
Right. Yeah, I love it. So let's pretend it's 18 months from now and the app has grown. For someone who's watching this, who may be like, what's the point? You know, nothing's going to change, or, you know, what benefit would you say to them to get them to start participating in your app?
I say having that kind of type of attitude will definitely make sure that nothing ever changes. If you don't think anything will change, it'll never change. And there's that cliche saying that you need to be the change you wish to see in the world. So we got to start somewhere. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be some long hauls. It's going to be tough, but we can get there. And like I said, they're starting to take notice right now. Nike's coming out with accessible shoes. Dell has disability accessibility resource groups. So many people, not Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger and Zappos are doing things with accessible clothing, and it's coming. It's all there. Don't get discouraged. We're super close. And yeah, I really encourage everybody to hop on the app. In the next 18 months, we definitely look to have transitioned from the rate and review places to go find a date here. And this is where you can go. Here's what's going on in your city this weekend. Here's some festivals that you can go to. Hopefully, I know we're in this Corona time right now. So hopefully the next few months we'll be able to start advertising some events for people to go to, as well as just more brand ambassador contest. We look to give away some money from people that do ratings and do things of that nature and kind of pass on experiences for everybody else that helps us.
And I will include in the show notes links to your company. And also I'll also be putting a video that shows the app in action. Download the app right now, start populating with it. I actually started doing it, and honestly, you can leave the reviews, but if you just wanted to give a quick star rating, it takes a couple seconds of your time to do that, and the benefit it will have on so many people is worth those couple of seconds.
Exactly. That was the main thing. We wanted to make it super quick and easy. We know there's different levels of disabilities, and for me, I was constantly on the go. I know that we need our hands as most we can, essentially. If you don't have legs, you need your fingers and hands at all times. So we wanted to make it where the review was super quick. You can come in, just you rate on the entrance, the parking, the bathroom, and the interior space on a 5-star scale. You can do just a rating and a review, or just a rating or just a review. But yeah, just go ahead and hop in there and get started. If you don't want to sign up at first and just want to check it out, there's a little tiny explore button at the top of the page when they ask you to sign in or sign up or log in. So hit that and check it out and tell a friend.
And, I would also encourage people to do the reviews, because accessibility can be so subjective, right? You just said there's so many levels of disability on the spectrum that what is accessible to you might not be so accessible to the other one. Like, I like knowing if there's unisex bathrooms because it makes it easier for my husband to come in with me and keep our dignity. And sometimes we'll drive somewhere else where we know there is a unisex bathroom to, save us the embarrassment. But those little details are so important too, I think. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us, Brandon, before we let you go?
I don't know. In a time of craziness and uncertainty, be a good person, meditate, learn some self-love, read some books, get outside, put your phone down. I don't know. I feel I was in a tough space about a few years ago, going through breakups and bad debt and just not being in a good area. And I was able to there's always a way out. If you start to focus on yourself and start to better certain things and, work towards something, you'll start to feel good. And then you'll start to see everything else around you start to take shape as well. And I just want to encourage people to be happy pretty much and download iAccess Live today. That's all I have.
That's awesome. I know Brandon said put your phone down, but pick it up right now. And,
Pick it up and then put it down.
Right. Pick it up, download the app, then put it down and go back to meditate.
Yeah. Spend some time with your loved ones as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this app will allow you to spend time with your loved ones in places meet your needs. And that's so important. Well, thank you so much for being on Chair Chats. You're a great spirit. I'm so glad to know you and now have you in my life and iAccess Life app in my life. And I want to ask you, the viewer, I want you to download this app, and then I want you to put in the comments what you think about it. And is there something that could be added to the app that maybe isn't there yet and you'd like to make a suggestion? We want to welcome those comments. If there's anything that you see that could be added to the app, I'll pass that on to Brandon. And I know that their objective is to make this the best app for all of us so we can truly go out and get life and experience all of it. So thank you so much. Again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Chair Chats. I want to remind you to please subscribe and share. Also, if you'd like to join my private Facebook groups, they're called Victoriously Living or Crip Chat Club via Zoom, where we meet every Saturday to have real disability community talk. I also like to ask you, if you like what you see here and would like to see more from One Leg Up Productions, you can support us at patreon.com/One Leg Up Productions. Thank you so much. And until we meet again, be blessed.